כאן אנחנו ביום הולדת שלי, יום לפני ה-17, ועשינו לה מסיבת הפתעה בצור יגאל בבית של נועם ואסתי, והיא באמת לא ידעה שאנחנו מתכננים מזימה כזאת, והייתה מופתעת לחלוטין.
יש להם מילה אחרת. אנחנו אומרים במבינו, בברוני. יש להם אמיגות.
איפה את? בבקשה. עכשיו אני מבינה את העצבים של... לא, עכשיו אני מבינה את העצבים של חיים היום. הוא ניסה להסביר איך הוא ילמד אותך ולא הבנתי שום דבר.
לא קירה, את לא
שיעור, והיא לא קלטה.
אבל היא יודעת יפה, דבי, היא מבינה הכל. מה אתה מדבר היא לא יודעת? היא מבינה הכל. תאמיני, אפשר לעשות פה...
נועם וחיים, החבר של עידית, מתכננים את על האש. גינה של נועם נראה מקסים, ואנחנו נטייל קצת בגינה עוד מעט, אבל בינתיים נעשה כמה establishing shots, רק להראות איפה אנחנו.
מה, אתה יודע את זה? אני ראיתי את הסל מצליח שמצאו בגינה
אפשר לעשות פה מסע חלומות.
כן, סיימתם?
את ראית ספסלים גמורים?
לא ראיתי במשענת.
לא, אני גם...
במשענת?
עשיתי כבר זה גמור לתוך זה? כמעט החצר מושלם.
עכשיו בעל הבית לפתח את לנו כל מיני גרוטות ושם.
למה? מותר לו? אתה מדבר שמותר לו. מה בתור?
לא, הוא אמר לנו שרק
אבל יש לכם את ה...
רק את האופניים שלו
אבל יש גם מין חדרון לשם.
כל זה מעצים.
זה קטן נורא, החדרון הזה לא קטן.
סבא? סבא, הוא בא לי.
אם בא לי מוחרתיים, לא, בעוד יומיים שלושה, את תהיי שנה וחודש. שנה וחודש.
נכון? נכון?
הנה לי פוגשת את ענבל, שעכשיו בזרועותיה של אסתי, ולוקחת את ענבל מאסתי, אבל כל החברים מתחילים לעשות כנוס אל השולחנות.
לכלבים שלי נראה לי יהיה טוב שם.
שני החבר'ה עובדים קשה להכין את נה ואנחנו... איזה קול. תראה את הנדנודים האלה. תראה את הנדנודים האלה של אחד מבסוטית.
מה לעשות?
עקיפת
זמן כזה כמו אבא שלי. כל הזמן ככה. אני ככה זאת. באשקלון, בחנות. איפה לי?
שלום, שלום. איפה לי? לי!
לי, בוא נרים אותו. תראי, כמה אחרונה ששאלה? לי, זה היה בדיוק שנה. לא, זה היה עכשיו יש. כן, שנה קטנה. לא, מה זה חייב? אוגוסט 13 יום הולדת. שמח וזרע פורח, היום יום הולדת לנו.
איפה 27? אבל הנרות, איפה הנרות?
27 יש.
אסתי,
בקיצור. צמצמו, עשו צמצום. את ראית יום הולדת? יום הולדת. יום הולדת, חגיגה נחמדת, בניים ובנחמד.
לי, תסובבי רגע את העוגה שנראית 27 טוב.
אומר לי...
עשית את הצורות האלה? לא. אוי, איזה מצוין, זה נורא יפה. זה מסטיק וכזה משהו מתוק.
התעייפנו, ממי. ממושקה עייפה.
Well, believe it or not, here we are, having arrived yesterday at St. Petersburg. It is a city that one undoubtedly had at some stage a glory to it, but as we have encountered it over the last 15 to 16 hours, it is a city that is somewhat in a state of neglect and has lost some of its majesty, mainly because of its apparent greyness and enormous amount of sheer lack of investment and looking after and taking care of. But I'm sure during the course of the day we will discover aspects to it which will once again impress upon us the majesty of what must have been part of this city at some time or another. This, as you can see, is our hotel, and it is a very large hotel that was apparently built for conferences, but the rooms are more like a one-star hotel in Israel. During the course of the trip, no doubt, we will be able to reveal as we go along, but for good and for bad. This gunboat, or whatever it is, in front of us apparently is a national monument, and it was the boat that fired the shot that set off the revolution of 1917. The skyline is very low because none of the buildings exceed 5 to 7 stories at most, and that's not a bad thing. The river is the river Neva, N-E-V-A, and it is only 56 miles long, but it is certainly the centerpiece of the city. The turret I'm zooming in on is a church called the St. Isaac, and I believe we're going to visit during the course of the day. Here we are looking at the Hermitage Museum, which is one of the largest in the world, with over 2 million items on exhibition, and it's made up of a number of parts. This, for example, is the old winter palace of the Tsars, which forms part of it, and then the smaller winter palace, or smaller Hermitage, going all the way up to a newly constructed Hermitage, which I think is the one on the left here. So later in the afternoon we'll be going into the museum. This is being shot across the Neva River, which by the way, although only 56 miles long, we are told has 3 times the water capacity of the Nile. I'm doing a pan shot. Mervin's taking a picture of the Armitage, and coming back onto the island part. You'll see in a moment the two columns. These were part of the lighthouse, and the gas piping is still in it, and during festivities they light the gas lights and to show what they were once as lighthouses. This spiral is part of a fortress, and it serves as the Peter and Paul cathedrals, but it is a military complex which serves mainly, I think, as a prison now, today. I managed to get the date back onto the film, and as you can see, it is Thursday the 22nd of August, and the time is 9:21 in Israel, but here it is 10:21 because we are an hour ahead of Israel time. I told you there were two lighthouses. The one was obscured by the larger one early on when I was shooting, and therefore I couldn't get the feeling of both of them, but here you can see what they once were. There's no doubt that St. Petersburg was an immensely spectacular city in its heyday, but unfortunately a lot of neglect is apparent today. Here we are, our group, Alec looking very serious, taking photographs, and with the Winter Palace serving part of the Armitage Museum in the background. And we are on an island which I think is Vasilyevsky Basil. I had to get the name and remember it quickly because I doubt whether I'll remember it again. I got Ronnie giving a beautiful smile. Caught in action. What's the... Here is Hannah, Pearl and Ziva contemplating the babushkas which they are thinking of buying, because here you can get 3 for $10. Here we are at the Eternal Flame, and this is evidently where people sometimes come with their bride in order to take their wedding photographs, although we are told that the sign that people are getting married now is a good sign. There's evidently there's such lack of hope that not many people were getting married, and not having children either for that matter, and the average have maybe one child because that's all they can afford to bring up. It's very costly, and the only way they can give them the health education that they require is by keeping it down to the minimum. Here comes another bride, and also the band you can hear playing. 50% of the marriages end in divorce, which is a frightening statistic. Generally, one has a sense that there's very little hope for the future.
Bravo!
We are looking at the Church of the Spilt Blood, so called because this was the spot on which one of the Tsars was assassinated, and then his grandson decided to dedicate this church in his name. It took 25 years to build, and it is a magnificent edifice with onion-shaped and very brightly colored minarets or domes, and on Sunday we hope to see it on the inside. Another bridal couple being taken. So it looks like people are getting married. Maybe there's some hope for the future. Again, another shot of the Cathedral of the Spilt Blood, being shot from what was once called the Sahara Square because it was so dusty, but then afterwards they laid it out as a park and planted the gardens, and especially the violets or sunflower, which in spring bloom very beautifully and makes it into a special attraction, one of the major attractions of St. Petersburg. It was a training ground for the military at some stage.
I think we should run it. We should do circles around it.
No, they should throw money at us. We are now in the main synagogue of St. Petersburg, and Luba is our guide. She's a secretary here, and she's telling us.
And there are three, he had 3 sons, and there's a place of his son.
Hey, Luba, look here. Yo, Luba.
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 Okay, and of course, 20 years ago, is that people came to the synagogue and the people were waiting to see them and so what is going to say. So the building was open for no one. No, there were some people who lived in our synagogue, and there was a rabbi. I was very famous rabbi in Rana, who taught as a rabbi at home for 30 years, and even during the country, he spent a few years in prison.
The synagogue is at present being renovated and is not used for daily services, only for Chagim and Shabbatot. And there is an adjacent small synagogue, which we will see presently, which is used on a daily basis. The synagogue has all the support services, from a mikveh even to a bakery for matzot, and there is a Jewish day school as well as a yeshiva and a Jewish university teaching Jewish studies.
We think that only God saved our synagogue, because a lot of buildings in the synagogue were destroyed, but this wasn't destroyed.
From then until the restored, people couldn't come.
They could, but it was very dangerous. Because as I told, they could use the document.
How many people in the community are Shomrei Shabbat?
As I told, during the Shabbat, it's only 100 or 100 people. But in our congregation, I think it's about 10,000 Jews. I told you about 10,000 because, as I told you, we have a lot of Jews that are in Pittsburgh. They're only one.
How come you here and you're not going to Israel?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was born here, my parents were born here too. And that's why maybe in a few years maybe I'll go. Maybe I don't know.
What does your father do, Luba?
My father is electrician.
And he lives here still?
Yes.
The parents aren't there?
No, they live in Spain. They were born and their parents were born here.
Have you brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have a sister.
Older, younger?
Younger, she's 8 years younger than me. 8 years.
Your mother works as well? What does she do?
Engineer.
Engineer?
Yeah, Alex.
See, you're on video. You're going to be all over the world.
White we can sell, but of course, for example, in Moscow they have their own matzah. In Moscow, for example, but in the small cities they can, like Novgorod.
Send matzahs to Russia because I don't know, I weren't allowed to bake matzah here.
And of course, some city in Russia they can buy matzah not in St. Peter. They can try to buy matzah in Israel.
All of Europe.
Maybe some organizations from Israel.
Von Naroim von Kupischek. Von Kupischek, sehr gut. Sehr gut.
Du bist von litwakischer Jew?
Nein, ich bin von Nevel.
Wer ist Nevo? Ah, Nevo.
Von Vitebsk.
Vitebsk? Ah!
Городок, Nevel, городок.
Chagall, you and Chagall.
Да.
You and Chagall. Chagall is from Vitebsk. Vitebsk.
Кумар зайтрау von Israel. From Israel and von Amerika.
Norman, you organized lunch for us. I hear there's chicken soup.
Von Amerika. Von Washington. Washington, da. Bei mir in Dallas, wo Station mit. In Dallas? In Dallas. Besprochen dort? Na, ganz besprochen. Und noch dann. Du bist gewesen in Amerika? Ich bin nie gewesen. Parvos bin ich dort, da?
Das ist eine gute Frage.
In Israel haben wir zwei Schwestern, zwei. Da, in Chavon. Chavon, da.
Hallo.
Eine ist weggefahren in 1 New York, die andere weggefahren in Ottawa, in Kibrar Heides, durch die Swat in Oder. In Oder, in 90. Was du da gehen,
I don't know, since I have been 8 years old.
What, the shochet opening up the chickens?
Yeah.
Yeah, could put you off eating chicken for life.
I don't want to eat chicken, I'm a vegetarian.
Are you a vegetarian? Ah.
And they organize the summer camps or winter camps for Jewish students, for Jewish children. And usually it is very interesting. And for me, I worked as in the Jewish camp. It was very, very nice. It was great time for me.
Whereabouts was it?
It was about maybe, for me, it was about 42 years ago.
No, but where? Where did they have it?
There, in the suburb of St. Petersburg. But they have the club of Maccabi or Orient in St. Petersburg, of course. Very, very interesting, really. And they organize weekend celebrate Shabbat here. It is very nice. And have a lot of for Israel, there's a very good job. And a lot of Russian people want to go to another country too, but they can't because they are Russian, and it is a lot only for Jews. That's why they want to get married with the Jewish people and to go to
They succeed.
It is true. That's why there are a lot of marriages in St. There are a lot. But of course, not only that's why. We live in Russia, and if you, for example, fall in love, and he's Russian.
Here we have a shot of the St. Petersburg synagogue from the outside. The synagogue was 103 years old. It was built in 1873. ממש. כאן אנחנו שבת נמצאים בשוק שלהם, זה שוק רחוב כזה, וכאן אנחנו רואים אנשים שמביאים מהגידולים הביתיים שלהם לשוק כל מה שיש, ובדרך כלל אין יותר ממה שאנחנו רואים כאן. Homegrown in their own backyard, and most of it amounts to maybe 2 or 3 items or 1 or 2 kilos of whatever it is, 3 or 4 lettuces, 1 or 2 radishes, and this is what they come to hawk at the market in the hope that they can make a few ruble. And there are approximately 5,850 ruble to the dollar at the official exchange rate. One of the things that distinctly marks the city, despite its obvious beauty and the fact that it's almost like a hidden antique, you have to scratch under the surface to discover the real beauty of some of the edifices, buildings and so on, but the people seem to be depressed and grey, very grey. You hardly see a smile. Here we are in the market itself, the marketplace. This is more official, and on the whole the produce seem to be quite nice.
It's a lovely idea.
Even I would say bordering on the plentiful from what I can see, although this is Helena, our guide and companion. She's really been fantastic. She speaks a magnificent English. We don't the Machane Yehuda, but on the whole, I don't know what the prices of the produce are. We'll find out in a minute. Pearl buying 2 cucumbers. She's on diet. She thinks this is what she's permitted to eat. But as you can see, it is 10 past 10 in the morning, and we're here, I think, rather early because the market is not yet full, but I imagine during the course of the day it begins to heat up a little and fill up. The produce seems very fresh and rather good. Section of the market, and I must say that the flowers are magnificent. The roses, one of the few smiling faces I've seen. Counter,
Hatikva. You know Hatikva? Israel. Israel.
Jew. Let's hear, let's. It's getting there, it's getting there. Ay, ay. This is Catherine's palace. She was the wife of Peter the Great, and this is in Pushkin, where we were just greeted by the band, and it is also known as the Tsar's village, because
What did you pay for yours, yeah?
What did I pay? I paid. No, I paid 12,000 ruble.
12,000 rubles.
Yeah. Yeah. How much do they want? Oh, no. I paid 5. In case you thought that was the width of the palace, now you can see the length of it. It was just mind-boggling what these Tsars did during the period that they were supreme and unquestionable monarchs of this massive country. As someone said, they didn't have a budget for building these in money, they just had it in people. Every one of these palaces must have cost 1 million people.
That the visitors had to walk along, and the side entrance to the palace existed till the middle of the 19th century. So the visitors had to be just impressed by the size of the building, by the beauty of the decoration. Because in the time of Elizabeth, all those brown-colored decorations were gold. Even in the time of Catherine the Great, they just stopped using the gilding and used gold wash instead. In the post-war years, they just used the brown color for the molded decoration for the figures of the giants, which supports the balconies. So the chapel and the other pavilion, which Rastrelli used for symmetry, was located at the far end of the palace, were added for the purpose.
What we see in front of us now is the gardens of the Catherine's Palace, and the beautifully kept gardens of what is considered to be one of the 4 large palaces here at Pushkin or the village. This is just a money-making racket.
Alex, just get that cane for Mervyn.
Oh, that's good.
These are the babushkas. How many are there in this one?
19.
19 babushkas. 19. From the biggest to the smallest. Tick 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 tick. There we go. Okay, just a second. Now, fan, turn it around slowly. That's it. Oh, very nice. Very sexy. Oh, there we are.
Ready for us? Okay.
Where's Ziva? Where's Ziva? Ziva.
Yeah, Ziva. Come, Ziva. Ziva, come, my darling.
Believe it or not, here we are in Peterhof. This is a town on the Gulf of Finland in the Baltic Ocean, and here we are at another one of the palaces built by Peter the Great, and it is as elaborate as the one that we saw in Pushkin, maybe not quite as big, I'm not sure, but there you see the queue of people waiting to buy tickets to get in. And with today being Saturday, I suppose it's one of the days in which a lot of Russians also come to see their national treasure. All this area, by the way, was invaded by the Germans and looted by the Germans, and most of these castles were totally destroyed and reconstructed after the war under the instruction and knowledge of Stalin, which is amazing. But it is a national treasure, and I imagine it paid off handsomely. Next, this castle or mansion, palace, special from most of the others we've seen, are the fountains in the gardens, which are very special because most of them are operated by the natural flow of gravitation, and create these hundreds of fountains, of which the millions of cubes of water flow into the Gulf of Finland.
I think he's trying to get us in, so
No, man, Cookie, don't upset the equilibrium here. God, what an amazing... Now, all this, by the way, is by natural gravitation. These,
amazing.
You like the fountains, I like the fountains. No, it's here. That's why it's not...
Who, Catherine?
The water was captured.
Tortured.
Tortured. Oh, at the end of this canal is the Gulf of Finland?
That's it.
That's it? That's amazing.
Don't shake. No camera shake yet.
Пойдем.
Here we are on the Sunday before our departure from St. Petersburg, and here you can see on the banks of the Neva River some people are enjoying the Sunday swim. Today has been a day of visiting palaces and cathedrals. Most of them have been restored since the Second World War, and undoubtedly unfolding before our eyes is the magnificence of this city, with an incredible potential for possibly being one of the most beautiful man-made cities in the world. There is absolutely no doubt about it, except that at the present time there's a hell of a lot of neglect and of course a lot of money required for the restoration work.
Now, so the fortress is the hexagon in shape, the flattened hexagon, and it was from the very beginning constructed as the fortress, but was never used for military purposes. And it's the birthplace of St. Petersburg. The day of the foundation is May 16th, 1703. So this plan shows that we're standing now in the place of the former moat. And there was the other moat located symmetrically. Some of the buildings on the territory of the fortress have been destroyed, like the secret house. So when they stopped and never, I think, used the fortress for military purpose, they used it as a prison. Mostly political prisoners were kept here. And the secret house I told you about was pulled down in the middle of the 19th century, was used as one of the strictest departments of the prison. So no prisoner ever managed to escape from here and falls. And by boats through the Neva gate, they were taken to the place of exile or the place of execution. Lita, it's 56 miles long. And they found the new place for the city on this very island. So as you know, the 14th century carved oak iron shows the piece of sign of the fortune teller, was brought back from heaven by the praise of St. Peter, which was a symbolic way to show victory over.
You're not. Yeah.
I want to see what size it is.
Back.
You like him, Pearlie? You like him?
Yeah. Good shot. Right shot.
Terrific, you know.
It's your time.
Say a few nice words, thank you.
Say spasiba.
Spasiba. There's Ziva, you're on camera now.
We're having a great time.
There is two little...
We're extremely tired. And the madrif doesn't take enough.
Madricha.
No, the madrif is normal. That's
Well, I've got no say.
nothing to eat. Nothing to eat. But we're tired now.
This is a great panoramic shot of these magnificent buildings on the Neva River. Pity the day is a little dull, but I hope that the shot will come out because it gives you a feel of what this great city has to offer architecturally.
Now the prisoners coming here.
Yeah. Tell them to hold it a minute. Tell them not to take them out of their shackles. Which bridge?
Cockles and shackles.
Rega, may I find out what bridge we are just photographing now?
Yes, right.
That Trinity, great.
Gregor, you got a phone there or what's your phone?
You just earned yourself a flight home, fan.
Count Rogowski.
Yeah.
You have a Filmovski.
Yeah, you want
You
it?
got a Filmovski?
Yeah.
Give me a Filmovski then.
Oh, Cookie, I didn't think you cared.
She's very tired.
That's what they've got on the Rhine. They call them Ausfahrten. They do. Amsterdam is
First ever selection of statuary in this country. So now they're gradually substituting the original marbles with the cement plaster. They have to, just because of the weather conditions. In winter time, all the statues have to walk. Russian fable writer, Russian La Fontaine of the 19th century, contemporary of Alexander Pushkin. It's the statue which you see in the little square to the left of this alley. It's a very popular place with Russian children.
The same thrill of this girl.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the
Yeah.
same thrill. Krylov.
Yeah.
Misley Krylov, you know.
Yeah.
Alina, at this late stage, be very patient with the fruit. Ian, did you photograph from that side yet? Not the outside.
На фасаде между парой колонн, смотрящих на Фонтанку, установлена мемориальная доска, посвященная Анне Андреевне Ахматовой. И пройдя вглубь Шереметьевского дворца, мы с вами увидели музей-квартиру, где Ахматова прожила более 30 лет. И именно она впервые дворец назвала фонтанным домом, в котором зажгла заветные свечи, создала лучшие свои произведения, в том числе поэму «Бесперой». Великолепная решетка кружевного чугунного рисунка примыкает к павильончику. Над аркой главного входа герб Шереметьева, Савы Чевакинского и крепостного архитектора Шереметьева-Харгунова. Бывший культурный центр России, где звучал длинный голос русской крепостной актрисы Прасковьи Ковалевой-Жемчуговой, впоследствии графини Шереметьевой. Лучший частный хор здесь выступал капелла Шереметьева, известная не только в России, но и далеко за рубежом. И здесь на Фонтанке, в одном из флигелей дворца, создавался знаменитый портрет Пушкина, о котором он почувствуете, что церковь затерялась среди доходных домов, выросших без конца 19-го столетия. И чтобы мы с вами с воды увидели редчайший памятник культового зодчества, сносит угловое здание у моста, которое не представляло ни исторической, ни художественной ценности. По приказу Петра I в честь его дочери Анны строится по проекту Земцова собор, названный в честь святых Симеония и Анны. Собор действующий, в нем ведутся реставрационные работы. Наш теплоход. Милеющая на всем движении свободная судоходная река. Протяженностью 74 километра. Часть города 302 километра. Наибольшая глубина него 24 метра. Наименьшая 5. Ну а средняя находится в пределах 10-12 метров. Название, вероятнее всего, происходит на территорию Петропавловской крепости. Великолепная панорама открывается. Вы видите, что сейчас на посадку идет вертолет. В Петропавловской крепости можно за вполне доступную цену подняться с птичьего полета на вертолете, посмотреть на центр Петербурга. муравейника трясения,
נא לצלם ולשמוע.
узников вводили на комендантскую пристань и отправляли в Петербургскую крепость на казнь, на каторгу, в ссылку. Высота стен в Курске 12 метров, а вот толщина достигает почти 20. В этих стенах были созданы коллекции. Обратите внимание, как широка здесь неба. От берега до берега примерно 1125 метров. Нева здесь делится на свои основные рукава. Ловили среди пасмурного петербургского климата, словно роскошных цветов, расцвело это здание на берегах Невы. Затейливо украшенное колоннами, полуколоннами, скульптурой, вазами, наличниками окон, красивой решеткой на балкончик французского, означает пустынька, уединенный уголок. Начало коллекции положила императрица Екатерина II. Она последовала примеру знатных вельмож Франции, которые свои замки любили украшать вот такими уединенными уголками. И первая коллекция живописи, закупленная Екатериной II за рубежом, была размещена в зимнем подальше от жилых помещений. Коллекция росла не по дням, а по часам.
We have just arrived in Vilnius. An hour ago, and we're now sitting in the center of the Little joint.
But we mentioned there are a lot of people that are they're all destitute, but there are some people that are confined to their beds. They can't walk, and they go and visit them, and they take them the produce or the meat or whatever.
But you mentioned
Wieveel van die mensen zijn er? Wieveel van die? 20?
25 разів, 25, 30, две монет. Ну, азей. Мирамен the apartment. Miramen,
They clean it. Okay.
Mir waschen, mir batzolen. Bij ons, werkzaam, was
Friday was attended by 300 people as past Faisal.
Ну, nachdem wenn видеше праздники, видеше geordnet, wir auf Purim, auf Hanukkah, wir machen, was nicht ist, wir machen, wir kennen von den Menschen, wir machen das.
Wie viel volunteeren? Wie viel
Ну, Arbeit ist nur 20 Freunde. Nur der aktiv ist und da. Noch 2 Freunde sind nicht da. Und die Freunde, sie gehen, sie schleppen, sie machen, sie... Und ist der Telefon ist still. Nur das ist, ich weiß nicht, warum.
She doesn't understand why the telephone's not ringing, but these are the stalwarts, and they schlep and they carry and they keep us. They're 20 volunteers, but these guys was part of Lithuania.
Gelernt in der jüdischen Schule, Shalom Aleichem Gymnasium.
Went to the Shalom Aleichem Gymnasium in Kovna.
Ja, so began mit 6 Klassen.
You finished 6 classes.
Und von dort kenne ich Jiddisch.
That's why.
Nicht Hebräisch?
Hebräisch nicht. Hebräisch haben wir gehabt, schon in einer Woche, habe ich nicht gelernt. Ich bin gewählt, Jiddischisten. Ja, ganz voll. Jiddisch. In kommender Grenze viele Jiddischisten.
זה לא היה קבוע. מתי נקבעו?
Yeah, you can read the whole
That's the story. Read it.
חנה, מה זה? זה כרזות של אירועים?
אני לא. נפלת ישראל.
דיאלוגיה שלי. שלושה... Und die Familie kommt,
just something new in his career, and he is also a wonderful teacher. He teaches in the Jewish school. He has the art studio in Jewish school, and it's wonderful what the kids there are painted according to the Jewish fairy tales. It's wonderful, wonderful paintings of them. So he's also talented as an artist and as a teacher.
How old is he today?
Pardon?
How old is he today?
He's about 70, I think. Yes? 1919. 1919. So, he's about, yeah. That's all.
Zijn er 6000 Iddische.
Okay, I don't know. He's collecting these ex libris things. This is the only collection in the world which is Jewish. He has 180,000 of these, and here he's got 6,100 on. Yeah. Go ahead.
Was is dat zijn? Iddische Künstler van Iden, Iddische Künstler van andere Völker und Künstler von anderen Völkern von Iden. Also in Kunstkritiker.
Well, Jewish artists for Jews, other artists for Jews.
Van verschillende gewegen, bekannte, vereinen en zo weiter.
Part of this is his own work which he does himself, although he's not an artist, he's some printer or graphichologist.
Und da kommen von hier sehr viele Gäste von Deutschland, von Österreich, was studieren. Den irdischen Leben, weil da können wir als Sache was gefunden.
He documents Jewish life. I mean, a lot of people studying Jewish life come to his museum.
Unsere irdische Historie ist mir gut bekannt und ich erkläre sie und wir studieren das und es kommen Professoren und seine Studenten.
And a lot of people come to study the different aspects of Jewish life which he has recreated in his drawings.
Da beweise ich ein bisschen grafische Sachen.
To dig the pits for themselves. And this man was the only one who survived from this group. He just was hiding in the bushes. He managed to escape after they finished with those pits. And he lives now in Israel. So this is the single exception from all this exposition. I would like to start from this lady, from this lovely family picture. This is Sofia Binkenia. She was the wife of a very famous poet, Kazis Binkis. They used to live in Kaunas. And their house became like a center for the kids, which their fathers dared to give to the Gentiles for them to be safe. This lady organized many false documents for those kids. She looked for the places for them to work in the villages, because if the Jewish girls do not look very Jewish, she can get false documents and to work in some village, don't be on the ice to be hidden. So this was really the person who was in charge of the movement. It was not the single person she took care of, but it was really the center of the house. Her husband, at the meantime, was very sick, and for her it was not only very difficult physically, but it was also very risky. Churlionis. She was married to the Count Zubov. There were no more counts later in this century here, but it's also very sophisticated family, and they also lived in Kaunas. So our first president, Landsbergis, Oda Landsbergienė, she was eye doctor in Kaunas, and she had a colleague, also a doctor. And this colleague, she secretly came up to her cabinet, and it was the rumors about Charlie children action.
Ghetto, pre-war ghetto, and later it will be easier to us to understand each other there. Now, here we can say what remained in Lithuania after the war and Soviet occupation of the Jewish artifacts. Most of those artifacts came here from different Lithuanian museums. So usually we don't know the history of those things. About almost all of them, we can tell you that we think that it's from there or there, or it's possible could be, or just that it's such a thing from, I don't know, 19th century or 18th century and so on. But here are one artifact which is almost for sure connected with the great synagogue of Vilna. Its history goes back 240 years. That normal Jew didn't go to a toilet, or didn't speak to Goyim usually except for merchandise. Everything had to go through the community. They had special people to speak with, I don't know, the Duke, it was called Stadtland, who knew how to write, who knew languages and so on. And through the scribe went all documents, absolutely all what went from Jewish people to authorities especially. At the same time, he had to keep community report and so on. Another body, a ruling body in the community, was the Beit Din, a religious court. Head of Beit Din was the rabbi, which at the same time was Rosh Yeshiva, head of the yeshiva. For the description of the great synagogue, we can say it for sure because we don't have here in front of it Strashun Library, this building. Strashun Library was not same as Jewish library before the war. It was donated by Matatiava Strashun in the end of 1800. Before the war, it had about 50,000 books. About 22,000 were in Yiddish. But back to the history of this synagogue. This particular synagogue, the so-called Great Synagogue, was built in 1635, 1640 probably, instead of wooden synagogue which was before. Jews came in Vilna approximately in the end of 1500. Construction, they found that it is on the first level, that they have two more levels there. So that we can say legend about what I told you before, it could be even on that level. But what became of this place? In the beginning it was nice and quiet and a very popular recreation place for non-Jews. Later it became so overcrowded that almost all the life went on streets. Each courtyard had two entrances. It's one typical site. Each one. This is the shortest one. And the yeshiva, and they collected money. Then, before the war, it was it had its own building, which was the yeshiva, and which was famous enough. Okay. And another thing typical to Ghetto Vilna is the arch. In Vilnius Ghetto, on streets of Vilnius Ghetto were 3 arches, and now on probably each book, cover of each book about Vilnius Ghetto, you will find 2 or 1 or all of 3, the 3 of them. It's a real symbol of Jewish ghetto.
This street is called Jewish Street or Jew Street in Vilnius, Lithuania. And really our guide said that this spot is the heart of the Jewish ghetto, and here Jews lived, traded, worked, prayed, worshipped, and this is a typical street with the background of the church, as you can see.
It doesn't make sense.
But let me tell you the story.
Зараз упадет.
Артолі на місто.
Ночі за столі.
Here we are in Dusetos. This is one of the many Lithuanian villages in which Jews numbered anything from 60 to 90% of the Jewish population, and here we are photographing the fence surrounding the cemetery where there are definitely tombstones. We were led here by this local who was born in 1933, and she took us to the cemetery and told us of the Jews and the relationship between the Jews and how she was one of 11 children and very poor, and Yisroelka, one of the Jews, gave the money to bury her grandfather, who when he died they did not have money for the burial and the grave and the tombstone.
People who were murdered weren't buried. They weren't buried, but you know what, Mel? You must look maybe at the end of the cemetery for the one where it began.
Who was Chaya Sarah?
Chaya Sarah, we have
Chaya Sarah. Bar Nisan. Basra Nisan.
Nisan Golden.
Auf alles Kislev, Tatresh Ein Nun. Orna, מה זה Tatresh Ein Nun? פה נגברה עמנו החשובה שבת.
עוד פעם, בסדר.
ציון לנפש חיה.
That? Hang on, look over there, guys. Look there.
יורדות מים, עינינו זולגות מים, עינינו יורדות מים על אימנו צנועה
במעשים טובים, מגזע, יחס, אשת חבר,
אמת, ארת, מרת,
לידה ורשת,
אהבה,
וזה עין,
אולי הם לא ידעו לכתוב עם עין.
אהבת מר שמואל,
זה בעלה, כן, בעלה, הם כתבו אהבת עם עין במקום עם א'.
אהבת מר שמואל ז"ל,
נלקחה ממנו,
רק בטבת שנת
צרפת, 1923. 1923, תהי נשמתה צרורה בצרור החיים.
יופי.
Yeah, we thought that would stop them burning us, and they still stuck us. I beg your pardon. No, sorry. Delete that from the...
בית העלמין הישן יהי זכרם הקדושים לעולם.
There's obviously this thing. May their memory be for a blessing. I don't know, has that got a date, Merv?
No.
Got no date. This was put up subsequently, probably in the last 5 or 10 years or something. This is may their memory be for a blessing.
האישה הצנועה, החשובה, מרת טויבה, עבר, בת גרשון, זלן, הנה יש לכם עוד כמה, זלן פרטו, זלן פרטו, יום, כ"ד, חודש, ניסן, שנת תר"ש. תר"ש זה 600. תר"ש. לא, חייב להיות תר"ש משהו. ת' זה 400, שין זה 200, זה 600. איפה זה? ו'. אולי זה עין ו'. זה עין ו'? עין ו'. And here on ein is 50, אז 656 ועוד 1240, that's 1896. 1896. איך זה נשאר? זה ברור, זה אחות. 8. הכבודה והחסידה. נבל. בעוד פעם, אותו דבר. Really?
Of 80.
לא, זה ערוץ מזמן, לא שהם באו להרוס.
His wife, it's unusual, very unusual, very rare tombstone, very rare. I saw almost all the cemeteries in Lithuania, never see it like that.
All right, Ian, you're doing that one, right?
Pardon?
Ian? Shall I light the candle?
No, we'll get I want to do the film, the video with everybody here together, so it's a personal memory for each and every one.
They're looking for tombstones.
Ask Regina to do it, then you can be in it.
Dover, then Yehud.
We had Yehud. No. Well, it was a brother.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, Yehud it's 50, I'll have the Gimel then, 54, 1854.
So it's obviously their funeral.
Yes.
Coming down.
So this is how they,
1854.
Yes.
where they started from. So we all the people that
They started here in 1580. The first
just make a mess.
1580.
Candle can be lit.
אם אנחנו, עד לבטל אנחנו שנקרא על שם אנחנו. חודש בקוצר. נכון.
Not only are you not only are you a Jewish guy, you are also a film producer.
Anybody want Kaddish camera?
I photograph you.
But look, it's not standby.
We'll all say together so that
I cannot
everybody can
see
be part of it.
anything.
No, it's in front. Two things in front of it.
Just say that it's too windy here, man.
No, it's not.
Alex, telephone.
Where's the guy sleeping? I left him all the notes on the wall.
The day of liquidation of the Vilna Ghetto, 23rd of September, and in all those small places
kids from the school are taking to the monument, and some representatives of municipality, and they commemorate the day of genocide here on the places. There's no Jews, so probably somebody can come from Kaunas or from Utena. They can come. Those few who are left here.
Why did they? I think you said it. The 23rd of September, when the Vilna
Ghetto was.
These are fir trees. Those we call them spruces. Spruce.
No, that's why we would say those are the Christmas trees.
Have we got a garbage sack?
It's not just a little one. Can
you believe it?
Yeah, we have to light a candle.
We will.
Hot like candles.
Imagine them bringing the little children here saying, well, you're going to have a nice picnic in the forest.
The Lithuanian government put this together, right? The commemoration.
We're standing at the spot where the Lithuanian government have put up a memorial for those Jews who lived in Dositos and were massacred by the Nazis some 15 miles away from the town in what is one of the most beautiful forest areas. And here they were brought one way or another, either by forced march or on truck, and here they were murdered in cold blood.
Wow, look. This is a pit which has no end. You cannot see the end. What? It's a pit. Minara.
When was this now?
1941. Alec, this is the 26th of August. We're commemorating the very day. The very day. The 26th of August 1941.
Our families were lucky. We always moved in town. Everywhere. 26th of August.
And I don't say how many.
It's the exact day.
Yeah.
It's the same day today, look.
It's the same day.
26th of August. 1941.
Wow. And my camera is going to say. Oh, that's my day.
These were the trenches in which the Jews were buried. Where Orne is walking marks the boundary of the trench on the one side, and into these the Jews were shot and thrown.
These are the pits. That's Orna, Shapiro, and Jerusalem.
They did not have so many healers.
Then you understand. People didn't believe. You understand the mentality is different. You can't, you know, what we.
And there was no Israel done.
That's just an issue.
Maybe there was always the two possibilities.
I'm just saying that
assimilate.
in 1948, when the Jewish state was established, people that survived the Holocaust did not open their mouths. The attitude towards them was shame on you. And I'm saying, thank God, the country is now bigger, it's more mature, and all the attitude is changing now, and it's good it's changing. And I think to fight when you have a 10-year-old boy, and you know that they're going to take him and kill him before your eyes, I don't know if I would have fought. Maybe you believe things will change, and you hope things will change.
We don't know if we'd have joined the partisans or not joined.
I'm not
part of our fascination with this is there but for the grace of God go us. In other words, we know that it's us here who would have been here, not us personally. And the fear, how we would have reacted then. Would we have done the same? Would we have run? Would we have stayed? Would we have joined the partisans? Would we have walked meekly? We don't know how we would have reacted. Are we not? And it's not a criticism.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ורומם ויתנשא ויתודה ויתעלה ויתענן עומד קדושה בריחום לעילום מן כל ברכותה שירתה ותשבחתה נחמתה דמרן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שמורה ומשמעיה חיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
1941, 1997, how many years? 56.
Okay. Over a period of 40 years, in 1.5 hours they did the Jews in there. You know how much more for? Dus je wordt een beetje short met dialoog met die banden, maar hele assumptaan ook gewoon moving.
I don't think we should burn it. I really don't.
No.
As soon as you put it there, it gets in, you're in the way. The other one was obviously the visitors were from Europe.
All these were to be blown up.
Yeah? The other one is also the visitor was from Islam.
Yeah.
The same
I wouldn't leave it, Brent. I wouldn't leave it here.
No.
Why not?
but אין שום פחד. לא, seriously.
הם כולם קיבלו, הם כולם קיבלו.
הם מהרוח, לא מהזה, תראי עד מתי זה, מה את חושבת? זה חצי, תסתכלי פנימה, את רואה שזה...
No problem with that.
לא.
Nee, ik dacht we noemen in Armenië. Nog de Mohammed, dat moet ook geleerd worden.
Variantere broeder.
Ja, dat moet ook geleerd worden. We ben komen door.
Aber gesehen dem Feuerwehr muss das
השמיני לאוגוסט. Meine Frau
What does it say there?
Команда is there. Das ist hat gemacht, da man ihr Fides angeschrieben.
Ja.
Das die
Früher ist gewesen nicht in Russisch.
Wenn der Russland wäre, damals gern noch auf Litas noch Russisch. Fides nicht gern.
גם אומר שלא היה ביידיש.
Kanalen. Weiter. Weiter, Sissi.
Работает геharget и
А я говорю, из Гранд-Реке, каждый не
Born in 26. And
Я делал только был коммунистическая идея.
from Rokiškis we already go by foot. Kiek žmonių iš
А Израиль yra коммунисты?
Dabar nebėra. There are communists in Israel?
Yeah, they are. We know.
Tai jie ten idėjiniai turbūt komunistai, aš taip galvoju.
Idėjiniai, bet jau ne, dabar visai
A
nedaug.
pas mus
Kapitalistai.
buvo dėl to, kad jeigu nori darbą gauti, tai reikia.
There were many communists in Israel.
Yes.
Dėl darbo.
Iš to sunkvežimio pusę sušaudė, kiek sušaudė?
Iš to sunkvežimio tą kartą tai gal nedaug, mes įsiskleidėm vėliau. Prie sienos tai praėjom prie Rusijos.
Jūs pravažiavot, jūs atvažiavot?
Neįleido iš karto, Rusija neįleido, bet kada
Bet
vokiečiai...
jūs su ta mašina, su to
Ne, jau
sunkvežimiu? And so we were going by foot. They didn't let us inside of Russia.
Ir prie sienos jau pradėjome eiti, Rusai iš vienos щитопасение кита, я им как пролезть такой, да я не пролезу.
They were not letting us in, neither through the border with Russia, or с Русией там было, с Латвией.
Латвия, вместо Латвии
Болторусия и Латвия.
Не, Латвия спустим с собой.
They were going to Latvia.
Латвия, вместо Продавпили, про Латвию спустим.
И Продавпили світі
І там
проляли.
Пскова там району там було. І коли Вохичев десант Ишмет ее, Вохичев все ее преки будут, Руссия бегала, ну армия бегает. Ермес как-то бегал.
The army was retreating.
Я бегаю, Ермес
And
бегал.
we were along with them.
И паника была.
Collapsing.
Как и было.
Philippines, Jews, all.
И продаю Руссия, и Руссия продаю. И Урала, каждый давай со солей, и Сибирь.
А куди jūs praleidote?
Aš praleidžiau prie Užkazanės ten buvo.
Aha. He was in Tatar Republic. Not far from
How did they exist during the war?
Ar jūs dirbot?
Tenai?
Now we are in the near the Biržai, on the place of the mass grave of the Biržai Jews. There were 2,400 Jews which were killed here on the pits, in the pits, and we have with us Mr. Melamed, Šeftel Melamed. Ponas Melameda, jūs prašom pasakykit pavardės tų šeimų iš Biržų, kurias jūs atsimenat.
Zunderevičiai, Liberman, Ripeikas, Tabakinai, Šapyras, Šek Jevtinkovna inače.
Maladana Front.
Sherman, Sher, Levin, Glickman,
Those are the names of the family who Mr. Melamed remembers, who are buried over here in the mass grave.
Here we are in the cemetery of Birj, where we met this Mr. Melamed, and he's taking us through the Jewish graves, but these are mainly graves that of course were from those who died before the war, except for the one that I'm shooting now, which is a mass grave of 30 Jews who were killed on the spot, just at the time of the invasion, of the entry of the Nazis.
What name are we looking for?
Well,
And the border... No.
Maybe somebody will come along and sing it up.
That someone found the family's grave and put a decent stone up there for another 50 years, and I'll come back and do it
Yeah,
again.
be careful, I've already had my day.
God, it's totally overgrown, eh?
This is what we're going to see in Shimonis here without any names.
Sorry. It's a jungle.
Ian?
1 minute.
Italy. Back.
Where the center of the city is,